G'day you mob, and welcome to this episode of the series that I'm doing with Jake Farwharton and Greg Savage from The Pouch, the podcast on political expressions. So today we're going to explain for you a political expression that is used in Australian English all the time. Don't forget to go and check out their podcast, The Pouch, if you want to learn about all things Australian politics. So guys, I hope you enjoy this informal, fun discussion. Three guys getting together, having a bit of a laugh whilst talking about Aussie politics and also trying to teach you some Australian English at the same time. All right, guys, so tap the currawong and let's get into it. A kingmaker.
I mean, again, it's kind of like a dog whistle. I can define it, but it's sort of like, it's something we do see this a lot, but it's kind of hard to actually point out. So a kingmaker is somebody who gets you your seat. Mm-hmm. You know, it's been used a lot in the past in the knifing in the back of one prime minister for the preference of a new prime minister. One might say that Scott Morrison, when Tony Abbott was Prime Minister, Scott Morrison ended up being a kingmaker for Malcolm Turnbull to regain his prime ministership.
So it's mainly he had a lot to do with getting Turnbull that position of being a prime minister, as if, I guess it's a reference to what the royal family or something, playing with pieces in order to make sure a certain person ends up the king.
Correct.
In power.
That's like Clive. That's what Clive Palmer basically did.
Oh God.
I
suppose actually that's actually a really good. I think that's a really good example. Because essentially in the last election, it was thought of in the last federal election, I should say, which was I think May last year. So we're almost a year in. But it was
not much more could go wrong.
Well,
that's a bit smooth.
Don't say it. Don't say it, Pete. We'll never be able to go back to work. We'll never be able to leave our houses. So yes, in terms of Clive Palmer, at the last election, it was thought that essentially the Labor Party could not lose that election. And so much so that the betting agencies had put them at something like I think it was like $4 or $5 versus Liberals at $20 or $30. So it was a pretty massive gap.
Yeah.
But it turns out that essentially we talked about preferences earlier. What Clive Palmer was doing is he saturated the media with advertisements that were supporting his party, but all of his preferences were going to the Liberal and National Party. And he got exactly 0 seats out of that election. But all of the people that voted for him, and he is known as a very highly conservative nationalist type of guy. So when he was using his dog whistling language, he was directing those preferences towards the Liberal and National Party, and as a consequence, the $69 million that he spent in advertising that got him exactly 0 seats actually got him the prime ministership, got him the government into power.
And why was he after that? Do you want to sort of give people a bit of a background into who he is, Clive Palmer?
So Clive Palmer, and I can speculate here, and I would hazard to state that these are wild speculations of somebody
don't sue us, Clive. Please don't sue us.
Actually, you can sue us, Clive. I would like the publicity. So don't listen to these two jokers. Yeah. Yeah, I'm all for it.
Well, as I've said to you on a previous podcast, Greg, I do run into him from time to time. In the city.
All right,
you sent me a blurry photo of proof.
Yeah, it didn't work out. Sorry about that. But yeah, so he has been for many years a miner. A very young person. No, somebody who mines minerals out of the ground in order to profit from the sale of those minerals. And or I should say he's the company that he owns and has.
Yeah, he pays a lot of people to do the mining.
As you can probably tell.
He's not out there yet.
So it was actually quite funny because very soon after the election was called for Scott Morrison, and very soon after the government was established, it was announced that there would be a new mine that Clive Palmer's company would be looking to establish in Queensland. So, yeah, look, you could say that's
great news.
It is, yeah. We need lots of...
We're big fans of mines on the Pouch.
Yeah. We are.
They're big sponsors of the show.
They're huge sponsors, yeah, especially Queensland Nickel. Yeah, huge sponsors of the show. Yeah.
All sorts of mining.
Yeah. But essentially, that's my speculation on why he did it was to gain approval or gain the ability to have his new mining plans approved by a freshly elected government that was elected on his dime.
Thanks for joining me today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you learnt a little something new, and I hope that you improved your listening comprehension, as I know that sometimes it's difficult to listen to three native speakers all talking over the top of each other about a certain, topic in conversation, but that's the whole point of this sort of series. It's to give you exposure to advanced English discussions, chats, everything like that, so that you can work on your listening comprehension whilst also learning about Australia, Australian politics, and some English vocab about politics. Don't forget to go and check out Jake and Gregg's podcast, The Pouch. You can find this via any good podcast application for free. They publish an episode every weekend about Australian politics. Anyway, until next time, guys, I hope you have a killer week, and I'll see you soon.